Hello, welcome back. So in the previous part we have seen how we can add sign up inside screen. So I think before going and adding our users, we will edit this component first. So in here we will write our constructor. We receive props in here and we'll write super function with some other features. Okay, now in this write this dot state. So in here we need current peer user. I will tell you later what is this current peer user. We'll just give it null value. And we need one more state, which is displayed contacts, and give it empty array. We'll talk about both of them later. So we need our component did mount so that it can fetch all of the users present inside our Firebase Firestore. So in here we will write component did mount. In here we will call another function, this dot get list users, and we will create this function here, and we will bind first in here. We will give it this dot get list users is equal to this dot get list user dot bind this. Okay, so create this function get list users, asynchronous function. So we will write async and we will give it as arrow function. Okay, so we want to get data from our Firebase, so import your Firebase here, Firebase and Firebase. So go in here, cost result, everything is going to be stored inside here. So asynchronous function, we have to give it promise. So until then, give it a wait and Firebase dot firestore dot collection, and we are going to fetch data from users dot get, because every user is going to be stored inside this users document folder. So we will get every user inside our Firebase. So till now we have one user, we will create different users inside it so that we can get here. Okay, go back, then check if result dot docs dot length is greater than 0. If we have length greater than 0, then let list users and list users is equals to all of the data from result dot docs. This 3 dot means we need to get all of the data, we need to get whole array from this result, and docs mean there are different docs present inside users, different docs mean different users present in here. Now we need to add a loop on list users, and we need item and index number of that. So give this. So we need to write one more and give it parenthesis close here. Okay, so this is the for each function and this is the inner function. Okay, so in here we will get and we will create one more array here, this dot search users. Okay, and we will create it with empty array. Okay, go in here, now push different documents in this array, this dot search users dot push, and we need to put whole object. First we need to put key getting from the index of this document and document key item.id through which we are iterating of this list users. Okay, and then id item.data, and we give it here id, and we'll give name item.data.name, and then we'll get URL item.data.url, and make sure you are writing the same naming conditions like in here, URL, description, email. So be sure you are writing the same casing as well. And at the last we need to write description, and item.data, we give it dot description. Okay, and then this dot set state, and we will give it displayed contexts and give this dot search users, this displayed context of this state. Okay, so now go inside your return, and I'm going to remove this h1 and this div id frame, and I'm going to create one more div with id, give it site panel, and create another div with id, give it profile, and again create div, give it class wrap, and make sure you're including your CSS in here. Import, okay, go below and make sure you have copied my styles that we have given so far in this project. Okay, so inside wrap we give image, okay, and this image is self-closing, give id profile image, and we have a source, so we'll write in here this dot current user, so we have to give the current user as well. So current user means we have to get data from our local storage. Okay, so we have to get data from here, so we'll write this dot current user document id, we are getting it from local storage dot get item. Okay, and with local we have to write local storage strings, we have imported it, and now we are on local storage. So local storage is going to get this, this Firebase ID dot Firebase document ID. Remember, this login strings, local storage strings, are updated when we signed up or logged in. We have updated it with this, and again in sign up we have updated it, so we are going to use it inside our side panel. Okay, then we write this dot current user id local storage dot get item, and with local storage strings dot id. Make sure you're writing the same condition like in here. Okay, we need this current user photo as well from local storage strings, and we need one more thing, which is current user name. This dot current user name is equal to local storage dot get item local storage strings dot name. Okay, so I have this 4 different data of my current user. Now I can use throughout of this chat. So go below. So source is this dot current user photo. So write in here this dot current user photo, and we are going to change it later on, okay, because at first we have nothing inside it. Okay, in here we'll write paragraph and give it this dot current user name. Okay, then create another div and with ID status options, and we'll create in here UL, okay, in which we have couple of LIs for, and we'll give it ID first, ID status online, and we can get class active. So this is the UI related things. Give it span, and then we give it class, and give here paragraph online. Okay, so we will change it later. We will get our users and we'll change it later on. And then we have again li. Okay, we'll give it li, have an ID with status away, and we can write in here span class status circle, and give it paragraph away, and copy this and paste just below in here, and give it busy, and busy again, paste one more li and give it offline and offline. Okay, now close this div. So if I go back to my developed project, in here if I press on here, then you can write these 3 icons in here. Then go back in here and create another div, okay, and you can write these things. This is just the same to write tutor icons. So we have included our link as well inside our HTML, so you can write this div. Okay, so I'm going to write a quiz here. Go and add this div, and when we add profile, you should add 3 different text files in here so that you can get these 3 links and you can update your Firebase as well. So this will be your quiz when we update our profile. After update and after writing this profile, I will update the quiz so that you can add this file inside Firebase. And same thing, if you want to write a click events, you have to write everything inside these labels. Okay, go above. We do not need to close this div here. Control X and go below and paste it here. So this wrap is closing here. Okay, so I'm going to copy this whole and tab. Okay, and I'm going to copy this and tab. So I'm going to close 3 different divs, not closing this side panel div. Now this is the time to write search here. Go below, in here, create another div with ID search and give it label, and we'll give it for nothing and give it I. In here we give it class and for search and give it area hidden, and which is going to be true. Okay, in this we'll create input. Okay, and in here we'll write class input field and give it type is, and give it text, and we'll write on change event. So we'll call this function this dot search handler. We'll create this, and placeholder is going to be search. Okay, let's go and create search handler function. Okay, so we'll write this in here, search handler. So this is simple ES5 syntax, and we are also using ES6 syntax as well when we write arrow functions. Okay, if you go in my develop project, if I search anything by name, then it will go and give my result. Okay, before writing this handler event, we will go and complete this so that you can have a better idea of what is going on inside search handler. Now close this div and create another div with ID and contact. In here we'll create UL tag. Okay, first list style type is none, and margin 0, and padding is going to be 0. Okay. So remember, we are updating our state displayed contacts with this search user with this array that we are getting from Firebase. So we are using in this. Okay, we will write, because we are writing JavaScript inside JSX, we will give it this dot state dot displayed contacts. If there is something in here, then, and we'll give it else condition as well, and we'll give it console dot log no user is present. Okay, so go in here and map the array. This dot state dot displayed contacts dot map. So map function is always iterate over different elements present in the array. In this case we have this dot state dot display contacts. So map function present inside ES6 version of JavaScript. So it will take always function. So this is the item, the argument of this function through which we can iterate to every element of the array. Okay, we need to do a couple of things in here. So we are writing UL, so we need to write now li. We are getting our contact, so we'll give it class and give it contact and write in here on click event. Okay, but first we need to add check here. Okay, remove this, because if we go above, we are getting whole document inside Firebase. If we go to my develop project, we are getting whole document in which every user is present, which means I am the current user who is currently using this application. In this case, Donna Zane is a user who is currently using this application. So we do not want to add Donna inside this list. So if we go in here, we need to add check. So our check is item.id, which means we are mapping this ID with our current user ID. I hope you can understand this dot current user ID. If it is mapping with this current user ID, just skip that contact. That contact is a current user who is currently using the application. Okay, so we need to write this if part. Then now we are getting our li. Okay, in this condition we have this condition and we are mapping with this plate contacts. This is the if part, and we need to write else part as well. So we will give it console.log user found, or we'll give it just no user found. Okay, so this bracket is for this. Okay, this if condition in which we are mapping displayed context. If you have anything inside display context, then just go inside if part, otherwise no user present. And if we go inside, then we are mapping with displayed context and we are functioning it, and we are matching with our current user, and we are giving it if and else part. Okay, now in here we need to create li with class contact. Okay, contact. So li has on click event, because when we click on this, so that we can go to our chat component. Okay, so on click event, so it has to be returned inside here. So in here we will write this dot set state, and we'll just update the current peer user with item, because this is the item in which we are mapping to this displayed context. Okay, current peer user means if we click on Robert Johnson, then this is my current peer user. If we click on John Richard, then state will be updated to John Richard, then this will become our current peer user. So this is your current peer user. We will get and we'll pass the props. So on click, this is not going to work. We need to add arrow function, and we'll give it everything inside this. Okay, so now it's good. Okay, then we need to create a div here. Okay, and we'll give it class, give it wrap, and then create span and give it class with contact status online, and we will change it later, and give image. We are talking about this particular image of current peer user. Go here and give it source, and source is item.url. Okay, So we will change it later on when we'll see we are not getting our item.url or if user has not set his image. Okay, now create another div with has a class name, with class name is meta, and in here we'll create paragraph, and we'll give it class name paragraph. In here we'll give it item.name, and then we have another paragraph with class preview, and we'll give it item.description. Okay, if the user is not updated his description, then we'll check if there is a description, then give it item.description, otherwise give it I am busy. Okay, means when you sign up you haven't updated your description. So if user haven't updated his description, then give it I am busy, otherwise check if there is a description, then give it item.description. And we will write same in the case of images as well. So in order to write if user haven't updated his image as well, so we will get empty URL inside item.url. So we need to add our background image so that we can give it as default. So if you go to the images that I have provided you, okay, I need to get rid of this images, we have no image, no pic images present like this. So I'm going to update and upload this image inside my Firebase. Go to storage and upload file. So I'm going to upload this no pic inside Firebase. Okay, now we have uploaded this image. Go to file location and go to access token. This is your URL. Copy this. If I paste it in here, then you can see this image is added inside URL. So go back and paste this URL inside here. If the source item.url is not empty, then give it item.url. In else part, give this token, okay, that we have copied. And same in the case of above. Inside this current user photo, if we have set our photo, then give it this current user photo, otherwise give it this token. Okay, now it's fine. So this is always if part and else part. We are checking current photo. If current photo is not empty, then give current photo, otherwise give this image. Go below and close this div. Okay, and close this li. So what we have done, we are mapping our array with this map function, ES6 format of JavaScript. We are mapping through item. Item is going to get every index, and we can get ID of the current iteration, and we can paste it in li, so that we can paste every, if you go in here back, so that we can place every li. So this is the map function who is iterated over our Firebase document and placed it inside side panel. Go back. So now this is the time to give this buttons. Go in here, get out of this URL, okay, and this div, which is your contacts. In here, create another div, and we have ID, give it button bar, and we'll give it button and ID log out, and on click event we will call this dot logout function, and class give it icon, we have sign out, but we need to remove this in here, and we will create I, and we will write class and give it now sign out, and we will give it area hidden and give it true, and inside here just after your I, and click span and give it logout. Okay, now copy this button and paste it in here, and ID is settings. We will call this dot on profile click function. We will create these functions, and in here we will give it cog for and fw for our settings icon, and give it profile. Okay, need to give it capital. Okay, now close this and close this div as well. Okay, if you go in here, when we haven't selected any peer user, we should be displayed this welcome screen. We have created this welcome screen. Okay, and I think we haven't created it, so go to components and create new folder and name it welcome, and inside welcome create new file welcome.js. Okay, now our welcome.js has been created, and just create simple class react welcome, and with just welcome div, and we'll give it inside h1 tag, give it welcome, save. Now go back inside your side panel and call the components. And one more thing, if we click on this button, it means that we have clicked on this li, this on click button, and we have updated our current peer user. Our current peer user is not empty now, but first if we haven't clicked on that li, then our current peer user is null. So we will check here this dot state dot current peer user. If the current peer user is not empty, then do this. Okay, otherwise if it is empty, then call welcome file. So we need to import that component as well. Import welcome from, go to step back, welcome, and import welcome that we have created. Okay, so we have imported it. So whenever we want to write JSX, just like I am going to write here welcome. Okay, so we need to add this with parentheses, otherwise we write brackets. So if it is not empty, then we should pass it to the live chat component. So we need to add this live chat as well, so that we can start chatting here. So we need import live chat, and live chat. Okay, so we need to add it in here. If it is current peer user is not empty, then give it live chat. Okay, so we need to pass our current peer user, which is being clicked for chatting. We need to pass current peer user, and we'll give it this dot state dot current peer user. Okay, and one more thing, this is important. We are not passing or show toast inside live chat component. We are not added it. We are just added and passing pops to the side panel. Okay, side panel component. So we need to pass show toast props to chat from here. So show toast. So we need to write the same spelling of this function. We will give it this dot props dot show toast that we are getting from here. Okay, and I think we need to write props. We are getting constructor. Okay, now remove these blank spaces, and inside welcome screen we just pass current user name, this dot current user name, and we will pass current user photo, this dot current user photo. Okay, that's why we are receiving, if we refresh on welcome board, we are receiving the name and the profile picture. So we need to pass as a prop to this welcome screen, and we are going to receive it with constructor props super props. Okay, so go back inside side panel. Now we have completed till here. We need to add our search function first. Go back in here. Now you can understand our users are present inside displayed contacts, which is the state of this component. Go in here and start search your users. So we will give it arrow function, okay, from our ES6 syntax. Okay, and we are getting event. When we type inside search bar, it will give us keys. Okay, so in here we'll give it let search query, and we'll get event dot target dot value dot to lower case, and we need to write comma here so that everything should be converted to lowercase, and then filtered contacts, we'll give it this dot search users, and give it filter and pass arrow function, and now give it let search value el dot name dot to lowercase, and return search value dot index of search query. If not equals, give it -1. So in search user we are applying filter. Remember, in search user we have our Firebase documents. We are applying, and we are applying it with function, and this is the argument which is going to iterate over it, and it is carrying the name of this document, and it is giving it to lowercase, converting it to lowercase, and it is placing it to the search value. And now in search value we have all those names present inside our documents. Okay, so in this search value we are indexing over search query. Search query taken all of those keywords that we are typing in here. Okay, so it will check with this search query that we are typing. So it will checking if not equals to -1. If it is -1, then we got nothing in here. Otherwise we will give an update or state this dot set state, and we will update it with, I think we'll update or displayed context, and give it filtered context. Okay, everything is going to be stored inside filtered context. So this is the main part of your search. So now when we update our displayed context, this state of displayed context also going to be updated, and this li is going to be filtered with our searching area. Like we can type in here, type just here so we can see this. Okay, now go back. We need to create two different functions as well for logout and on profile click. So we need to add this dot search handler, this dot search handler dot bind this. Now we need to create two different functions. Logout. Okay, this is also going to be arrow function. Okay, inside logout we have to work with Firebase. We have included it in here. So go in here, we'll write Firebase dot auth, and we'll give it sign out. Okay, and then this dot props dot history dot push to the home page because we have logged out. And then we have to remove our local storage. Local storage dot clear. Now it's fine. Now we need to create one more function, which is our on profile click. Go in here, create this arrow function. So after clicking on profile, we need to just pass props to the profile page. We will just pass the history. This dot props dot history dot push to profile. In app.js profile, root is this profile. Okay, now save this component, go back to browser, in here, refresh. List user is not defined, go back, I'm using one mistake. U is capital, save. Now you can see our profile is rendered. Okay, we can go to profile. So this is our profile screen. We will change it later. Go back. Okay, go back to here and go back to your border buttons. Okay, so we need to add this bottom button. Okay, bottom bar and save. Go back. I can see logit and profile. Okay, let's have a quick break and then we will be talking about our UI and we will be talking about this more. Okay, let's have a quick break here.